go from there. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. All right, here we go. Exciting Magic Secrets show today. We've got a lot to go over. I know Jeremy has been working on the news, so I want to talk about that whenever we're starting something new. We really want to give that some additional emphasis. Bryn's been working so hard on the blog. It's unbelievable the progress he's made. One of the things I really appreciate is he's helped so many of you guys make your guys' first posts. So it's more than just making posts himself and stamping off on people that already know how to blog and so on. But he's really facilitated that, so that's been awesome. Of course, I want to thank Smitty for helping with all of that. So that's fantastic. Today's show, we have a traditional format that we've come to at this point. Normally, I do a pretty thorough monologue that's pretty researched and has to do with what's been going on this week, and typically relating things back to law of implication. I do have law of implication news, by the way, very good, very big law of implication news. David Mills has been working behind the scenes fervently with a lot of support at home from his wife, Oya, and he's been really working on designing a really great way of teaching a law of implication from scratch. So it's very, very exciting to hear. Of course, he's also very much a part of what we're doing here with Magic Secrets, in helping guide it and design it and so on, like he always does. And then also with OMG Machines, which is really thriving, really awesome. We have sort of a revival going on with that. That's very, very special, centered around Nikki. So it actually interesting. What we did was I never really even realized it until now. David and I have created such great brands in the past. We really have, and so we were able to really breathe fresh air into Magic Secrets. First, we did that by helping Patrick Chapin, and now Patrick's writing a new book. So we're really excited to see what Patrick comes out with, having all those years of experience with carrying Magic Secrets on and turning it into next level magic. And then now we're kind of reviving that, both reviving the book specifically, and then we're also reviving the whole feeling surrounding it. Of course, I got magicsecrets.com, and now we have the website with the 2 books on it. It's got the replays organized on it, and of course we've got our magnificent blog, which I'll actually be opening up when we get to the second part of the show. So normally the show begins with a monologue with me going about 20 or 30 minutes or so, and then it goes to typically Smitty, working on things with Bryn on the blog, and also showing off various innovations that he's been working on this week. And then I'll come back and kind of wrap up the show. Typically at that point, kind of makes for a full hour format and a little bit more, sometimes a lot. Today I'll cut mine a little bit more short so we can get to spending some time here with Smitty, because his time is more pressing kind of early. So we'll get to things with Smitty kind of right away, and then I'm going to circle back, and what I'm going to be doing is going back over with you guys on the blog and so forth, and so that's going to be great. Smitty, how you doing?
I'm great, buddy. How are you?
Doing awesome. So what are your current thoughts on? I'd say the standard metagame is a good thing that I would want to know from you, both to help me be informed myself. Of course, I've been working on Atlantis Shuffle, been trying Drowner. I've been happy. I'm feeling pretty solid. Like you probably want at least 1 or 2 in the main deck, maybe more. And but I love getting informed by you. I know you and Adam made some great comments about things. Dan's got a new deck, or Dan was active and discussing things with us and so forth. So what are your current thoughts on the standard metagame and what's going on?
It's never been more diverse in the last 5 years. It's never been as diverse as this. The 5 top decks are being played at between 18 and 6%, which adds up to 50%. So the top 5 decks in the metagame currently are the Nasty Roid, Jeskai Control in some form.
What is Nasty Roid?
That's the one that Matt Nass built. The green white Roid Hulk deck.
Right. Obviously, you were showing that off last week, and you had a lot of progress with that. Do you still favor that deck a lot?
I mean, it's the metagame's catching up a little bit. So, but still, if I had to go play a tournament tomorrow, I'd probably play that.
Nice.
Because it's something, it's a style I'm familiar with. It's a deck I've played a fair amount, and it's really, really good. And it's
nice.
It's
we'll
somewhat
make
versatile.
Sure to get more of your thoughts on that today, then.
Yeah. The only thing I changed is I added Insidious Fungus to the main deck as there's just so many enchantments you want to kill: Unholy Annex, Sheltered by Ghosts, et cetera, et cetera. The control is getting a big boost from Tablet of Discovery, amongst other cards. But you're seeing some wild.
Yeah, see, Adam pointed that out this week, and you seconded what he said, that we've been seeing a lot of Tablet of Discovery.
Yeah, it's wild. The diversity in the control decks too. So it's like there's really like 6 or 8.
So it's a lot like Badger Mole cut, like Tableau Discovery is a lot like, similar to like a Badger Mole Cub. It's parallel to it for those decks where
absolutely
their deck is kind of running through it, but then there's all kinds of variants. Of course, there's any number of ways that you can go.
Yeah, now we have Corrupt that draws you 5 cards.
Right.
And that's
you're talking about the 6 casting cost. I'll come up with the
Together as one. Together
as one. Great.
Thank you. Yeah. So yeah.
And Adam, did you have any commentary on you were the one who first brought up that we're seeing more and more of
Tablet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mike, thanks. Just really quick, it provides card advantage straight out. So even if they do, play it and you respond to it, they are already generally up a card, which makes it very
the
threatening.
only way to really get ahead on them is to like tide bind it.
The tide bind it or counter it. The other thing it does is it threatens a very early Jeskai Revelation, which is hugely devastating, or other big mana threats like Together as One.
I was really blown away by Jeskai's Revelation. I've only played one tournament in the last 10 years, and a wonderful Bryn's on. Boy, tell you what, trying to do the show without Bryn, have fun. That's basically very difficult. Great, Bryn's coming on. So yeah, like in that way, like it's because opening up Jeskai's Revelation, it's really such a big deal. Like really being able to do that again. The Cruel Ultimatum deck that I designed with Pat Chapin for Gabriel and the Thief back in the day. That's the all-time thing. Obviously based on a very similar type card, Cruel Ultimatum in that case. Jeskai's Revelation. And I'm typically so beat down oriented in the direction I take things in, just for all of our sake. Just so games go fast and we get like a lot more iterations and we learn a lot more, and but I mean it's hard to ignore, and I'll try to try to turn a little bit of my own creative skills to that as well, because just so we can get a better look at it. I don't know. I can't say that we'll post a whole bunch of stuff like we have recently with Nasty Roid. Obviously, it was great, by the way. That again on the show last week that Smitty and Bryn got that covered with some playing matches and showing that off and a bit how it works. So we're all getting a bit ahead of it. And obviously, we were talking about Nasty Roid as soon as it came out in the metagame. So let me see. I'm gonna pull this up on my screen, and then we'll a bit. Actually, let me do this. Why don't we a bit avert back to. Let me let Bryn a little bit more, because he would traditionally lead this leg of the show, and it's better that he do it. He's more qualified and better prepared. then of course I'll be back at the tail end of things when Smitty's segment's done. And also what we're going to do this week, I've asked Bryn that we look back at some of the past stuff that we've done there, especially with Atlanta Shuffle, because I'm going to be talking a little bit about Atlanta Shuffle on the tail end of the show. And also just so great how forward the blog has become. All of you guys now are bloggers. Smitty, were you a blogger before now?
No, not really. I actually had 3 blogs about wine back in the day.
Hey,
I was very proud.
Then we're getting to revitalize. We're getting to tap. Hey, we're getting to tap back in to the
I was
to the
very
old.
proud.
What you have those barrels of wine, right? You tap into them. Is that how it works?
I love to read those.
Be true.
Adam loves them too.
And
yeah, we will be having a wine blog on magicsecrets.com, by the way, with Smitty on it, for sure. We will have it. I'll even make some contributions. I have some thoughts on definitely on champagne. I drink my fair share and your fair share, probably a few other people's fair share of champagne. But anyways, but yeah, it's so great that we have this kind of revival going on. That's opened things up for Jeremy to dig in on the on looking at the news site. Lawrence is giving me an update about that, which really got me fired up, and I was excited. Just in terms of the guys are always looking at things and getting together and meeting and talking. It's in a way that's really gainful for us. But anyways, let me let Bryn. You can probably log in and we'll set things up for Bryn to be able to share his screen. And we'll continue on with Smitty's rundown on standard right now.
Sweet. You want me to log into Arena also and the blog both?
Yeah, you can log into Arena and the blog. That'd be great. All right.
Yeah, Brent, can you grab my account? The account that I use.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to show a deck.
Yeah, it's starting up Steam right now, so it'll take a couple seconds. But yes.
Of course. Yeah, it's not a rush.
I didn't know that Magic runs through Steam now. It's kind of funny. Okay, so let's do this here. Bryn will make you the presenter. See if that fires up properly.
Well, turns out there's a Magic the Gathering update. It's gonna take a little bit longer than 2 seconds, but let's go.
I can blah blah about some stuff real quick if you want.
Yeah, please do. No, we really want these updates. Smitty jumped right into Mythic right away this month. He's got so many thoughts on it, and a lot of people want to know about standard and what's going on. And then I'll be back on at the tail end of the show with my thoughts on Atlanta Shuffle and maybe even some gameplay with it. Okay, so I'm going to send things over to do this. I'll make myself the presenter. Yes. So then let me make Bryn the presenter. All right.
Yep, there we go.
That works. Perfect. Great. I'll be back in 15 or 20 minutes or so.
Cool.
Okay, so we're looking at the top of the meta, and it's still like we said, the white green Roid, the Jeskai in some form. It's not really Jeskai because it's like, who knows what you're gonna see from control, but like they call it Jeskai. It's gonna be 2 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors, 3 colors, all the above. Prowess is still sticking around a little bit, although I'm not seeing nearly as much. Spell Elementals is hanging around. It's still good. It still beats a lot of the creature decks.
Yeah.
So it kind of occupies a slot beside the control decks in that sense. Is like that's what they're doing. Excruciator has not died yet. Which I've played 0 games with, so I can't really say much about.
Is that the Reanimator deck, or like which deck is that?
The Excruciator is the 6/6 demon that exiles all but the last 6 cards of your library.
Yeah. And then they have this, yeah.
They have just Deceit and Cavero to have a not just 1 card plan, and then Restless Reef, usually Insatiable Avarice. And that's how they get you at the end.
Restless Reef, when it attacks, it kind of like exiles the top 4 cards or something, or
it mills 4 cards, yours or theirs, but like at the end of the game, it's
always ours.
Yeah. So that's kind of the wrap
Yeah.
on those top 5, but that's only 50% of the meta. And some of the cool stuff I've been seeing a lot of is a lot of the End, a lot of Ancient Vendetta, a lot of Ujin, Rise of Sozin is coming back, and I think all of that is due to the Omens together as one situation. Ancient Cornucopia is powering up that deck as well, and then you also have the Professor. So if
What
and
does
when
the Omens do? I know you have a deck where you play. It's like one of the decks you got into Mythic with, right, this month?
I'm sorry, say again, please.
The Omens deck is one of the decks you piloted when you got into Mythic, right, this month?
Yeah, the Omens is a 5 mana. For each color you spend on it, your opponent discards a card.
Nice.
And we also have Biblioplex, Starting Town, Cornucopia, and Ferdlock Core, all that can. So you can basically play a 2-color deck that doesn't have a hard time casting together as one, and Omens for 5 different colors. As you don't have many non-instant sorcery spells, the Biblioplex is a gangsta. Because when you're casting those spells, of course, they are instants and sorceries. And the Ferdlock Core powers up the Unholy Annex, so you can actually play. I currently think, I have no creatures in the deck at all. The only sources of creatures are manlands and Unholy Annex demons.
Right, the 6/6 demon.
Yeah, that's the only way we can create a creature. So mostly, we're winning with Unholy Annex, draining them, and
Okay.
together as one, and then getting mind twisted and just not being able to take it and rage quitting. So if you feel motivated to, we can look at that deck. I know Adam knows a lot more about it than I do. And it's another one where I'm seeing a lot of variance in what people are playing in it. I played some games today just to make some notes, and like I said, I was 4-2, and I lost one game. It was kind of like close, where I only drew 2 land for like 5 turns, and then I lost another game to another Omens deck, where they Ancient Vendetta me and Deadly Cover Up me, and kind of like left me. I was on like 30 life to. I almost got him. I was on like
30
30.
life. Oh, you had the Annex in play and like a core or something, or
I'm sorry.
you were on 30 life, 3-0.
Yeah, 30, 35, something a ton.
So you had an Annex going plus like a
Cornucopia,
manland.
Cornucopia, Professor. Cornucopia does a lot of work in the life game.
Right.
And then you also have a couple Restless Cottages, which maybe should be more. So there were probably food tokens too. I don't recall exactly.
Oh, with the okay, cool. Yeah.
But this guy had, he ended up getting me because I couldn't stand to sit through 20 more minutes of winning or losing. Probably losing. But yeah, the End, Vendetta, and Deadly Cover Up all just stripped most of my resources eventually.
What does Vendetta do? Have I seen that card before?
Name a card, search your opponent's hand, library, and graveyard for that card, exile it.
Nice. So it's like Deadly Cover Up, but different?
Yeah, it was interesting because the first time he cast it, he named Fountain Port, and I didn't even have a Fountain Port in play. He just assumed that I was going to have a Fountain Port.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then once this guy also played Duress, so he could get more complete information.
Mm-hmm.
There's one small interesting nugget that might come into play. I'm not sure. It seems a little niche, but Ego Drain, when you have the Ferdlock Core, is much more dope than exiling cards out of your hand, because you have the Changeling. Yeah. All right, so that's omens. And yeah, I don't know. Adam, you with me?
Absolutely.
All right. Talk about what you're seeing in standard. I know you're much more well versed in this than I.
I would definitely agree with your commentary. It's very interesting to see control coming back so strong. Before, there was a lot of aggro decks in the format, a lot of Badger Mole, but now there really is only, I would say, maybe perhaps one aggro deck in the format, and it folds pretty hard to any of the 4-color control decks, any of the Jeskai control decks. And really you're seeing a rise of kind of more of a mid-range strategy in Dimir Excruciator with the backup win conditions and graveyard effects. And then much to your point, the Arcane Omens bringing back Mind Twist is huge. Like it is real, guys. And this deck kind of attacks from a lot of different angles, which makes it I think one of the most interesting. It has the Professor, which is a win condition on its own. The Unholy Annex is a win condition, and also a lot of control elements that make it just super difficult for anybody to go over you or under you, and the life gain kind of is the cherry on top. And a never-ending stream of resources with Together as One. So this is something that I would definitely pay attention to. I think it has the potential to be the best control deck in the format, even without counter spells, which is pretty strong.
I've actually noticed a significant number of control decks with 0 counters these days, which is unusual.
It's because
So are they just targeting
Cavern of
features?
Souls exists.
Yeah, that's a fair point. What do you think about Ugin in this deck?
I would like Ugin in a different shell. I would say it'd be more akin to a mono black shell where you actually play more discard early and have draw effects and artifacts that make actually casting Ugin more relevant. But it isn't bad. I would say you're trying to use Ugin much in the same way as Dalianfell, but he doesn't close out games as well as Dalianfell. He is good
As well as, I'm sorry?
The Ugin doesn't close out games as well as Dalianfell. Dalianfell is a must-answer threat, like the turn it comes down, because it threatens ultimate the very next turn, and that's pretty much lights out to anybody that can't race the Dalianfell immediately, and they're not inclined to race you because you've got cover-ups.
Can you spell that for Bryn so he can pull it up? Because I don't know how to spell it.
Oh, which one? This one or
Ugin Eye of the Storms? It's right there. Yeah, it's a great card. Don't get me wrong, but you just don't have enough colorless artifacts in the deck to make it more relevant. And you're not trying to control the board that way. You're trying to control their hand and then control what permanents they do play, and just get them. You're going to get them much quicker with Dalianfell.
Okay, I got you now. I was calling him Professor, and my hearing's terrible, so I wasn't understanding what you were saying. I got you now. There we go. All right, cool. And what about Vendetta, The End, and Rise of Sozin that I'm seeing in these decks? What do you think of those?
I absolutely love The End to take out threats, even excruciators, big elementals, roids. It's a very good tech right now for sure. The thing that I'm absolutely most excited about is probably Vendetta. As a catch-all, throwback to Oh gosh, surgical extraction.
Come back around, you know. We weren't.
Yeah, it's basically our current surgical extraction. Granted, it's not easy to cast, but you can definitely play it, and you can really eliminate what your opponent's doing with it.
Yeah, I dig it. I was you know, like the way I learned the most about decks in general and strategies is when somebody kicks my ass, and that ancient vendetta really the multiple ancient vendettas, deadly cover up, in the end in one game was just like, okay, all right, sorry for trying.
I do like the Rise of Sozin for that exact same reason. I see it, maybe taking a slot where Deadly Cover Up is, because it is a Deadly Cover Up built into a
Yeah, I was thinking
big body creature.
It could definitely
Um,
replace at least one cover up. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, and it seemed like a perfect board card, because you would bring it in when everybody sides out all their creature removal against you, and then you're just like wham.
Oh yeah, once he flips, I mean, well, whatever. It's just a great card if it hits. You know, there's a bunch of cards in this deck. If they hit and they aren't immediately answered, you know, from Arcane Omens to Professor to Together as One. Like, if I have 6 mana to cast Together as One and you aren't really on top of me, it's gonna be tough sledding for you.
Yeah, this is definitely a deck to watch. This is one I want to see played.
I love playing it too. So I've been playing it a little bit more. And you know I definitely don't have the best version here. But that's why we're talking about it. So we can figure it out maybe. Because
this is a world beater right here, guys.
It's really fun. Yeah, I mean, okay, let's see what else. What do you want to talk about, Adam?
I think that Momo is probably still the best aggro deck in the format, and it needs perfect draws to beat some of these decks, like Jeskai Control. It doesn't really do well into it because of their late game, but it is still the best aggro deck in the format, and maybe the only aggro deck in the format.
I mean, no argument here on that one. I think the deck's incredible, and Parting Gust and Daydream are just practice offense, are just very sexy right now. In that, if you're going with that sort of thing, the wild thing about it too is I don't know. It's a small sample size bias perhaps, but it just seems to draw so well. So.
You see that with the Riddler and stuff and bringing it back. Would that be the main thing, and like Halia sometimes, or?
Yeah, Halia provides you card advantage, and so does the Riddler, and threatens a huge, 5/7 attacker turn 3 as early as turn 3, plus life gain from Sage. So it's got a lot of things going for it, and it is still, a top tier deck. But I think it's going to be tough sledding if more controls in the format. It doesn't have the tools to beat control because it's not in black. It doesn't have ways to control their hand.
The banning's really, and Gary, Tokyo Gary's talked about this, and our DJ Michael has talked about this when they took out what was it called, the Skizix or something like that, the red and 2 colorless for a 3/3 haste creature.
Nemesis.
Oh,
Nemesis.
yeah.
Once they took Nemesis out, I think there was an old card called Skizix. But anyways, once they took Nemesis out, I really thought that was, I think they maybe should have tried to work a little harder to get around that. Maybe they could have eroded some of the other red cards instead. I don't know. But once they took Nemesis out, I felt like it was going to be a matter of time before we started seeing, like, I'm not too excited to see too much control because it just slows games down, and it's not a lot of fun to play against. It's more fun to kind of bash through it if you can. Not that I haven't played my fair amount of control and I won that regionals with whatever it was, 4-color, 5-color green, or 4-color, 5-color keeper-ish kind of thing, way back in the day. But I'm not afraid to play it. Especially if I have sort of infinite time on my hands. But
You were very early on Jeskai Revelation.
yeah. Oh
You were
yeah. No, I mean,
way ahead of everybody on that.
I love the card. I mean, it's an insane card. What my first thought when I looked at it's interesting because one of the big decisions that you're going to make. We can discuss this. I think it's probably interesting to you guys. I don't mind pivoting a little bit to discuss this with you, and especially with Adam being interested in it, it gives me more energy. So if we go back to that green black deck, then a lot of what's going on with control, one of the root decisions that you're making is, do you want to go with the core, what is it called, Fear core plus the demon enchantment, whatever it's called. What's the demon enchantment called? Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. So you're kind of choosing between that and what's the thing that's a red and two colorless for the artifact? Tablet. So you're kind of choosing between core and tablet, and that's the first kind of fork in the road that you're gonna make. And a lot of your decisions are gonna flow kind of downhill from there, if that makes sense. So a lot like when we had our own decision that we made when the Cub came out, and I was very strong on just, hey, let's go the Cub direction. Because remember, we won before the Cub. It's hard to
Yeah.
remember, but like with Blue Green, with like Atlanta Shuffle, it wasn't Atlanta Shuffle at that point. It was more of a hodgepodge of the various best of. We played with the rabbit that you can offspring or something like that. I know, I don't remember. We played all kinds of various blue chip, effective, fast, aggressive creatures, and then we had some sort of counter magic or something like that. We've been in this blue green mold for like a very very long time. It's been very effective, and especially when the mana diverged, like when you're trying to play aggressive decks, like I'm surprised that Nasty Roids done as well as it's done, because the mana on it is not as good as what you're gonna get out of a blue green deck. That's just obvious. Because they don't have the Align fast land. It's very strange. Like normally in Magic, green white should have more affinity with the lands than blue green, because blue green are opposing colors. But this is just an era where, just due to the printings and stuff like that, there's like kind of one outlier set that had the blue red land, the black white land. It's the slick shot set, the cowboy set.
Yeah, the Nasty Roids leaning so hard on the temples, which I was skeptical of at first, but are definitely worth it in that deck.
The which temples?
The
The abandoned temples.
They give all you guys +1/+1.
That's a land, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, the land. Yeah, I know Shark. Great. And of course, there can be a time and a place, like specialized lands throughout the days. I mean, we've won so much with them, so of course it can. I'm just saying that it's just tough, because it's tough when you're trying to put somebody else on the clock and you don't have a really great mana slope. It's just hard. You're gonna lose games. There's just gonna be times it's not gonna work out as well. The deck, obviously, you can't be said that if there was a green white fast land, that there wouldn't be more green white aggressive decks in the format. It's obviously curbed green white aggression. That's why we've seen for a long time red white aggression. I know it's been, again, red has been very very curbed ever since. First they took the whatever we were talking about, the Nemesis, and then they took the Cutter away, which obviously is another very very powerful card. I'm not saying they shouldn't have. I'm just saying they did. Anyways, you wind up in a situation where we just felt like that's the more aggressive decks, we can kind of go that direction. But as we're taking a look at this more control thing, what I would want in this, it's tough because playing without tablet, like when I look at this deck, I'm like, yeah, but I mean, is it better than tablet? Like that's mainly what I'm thinking. Because everything, like, again, in this deck will hinge on that. The tablet's a red card, so you just have to enable the red and it should come up. There it is. So because again, the tablet, as Adam said, it gives you that chance, and you a pretty good chance of spiking something that you can play immediately. So you mill that card and you can play that card this turn. Now, you can only play a land if you've already, like if you haven't played a land yet, of course. So that diminishes your chances there. What are the cards that are going to come up? Some of them can be, consult the star charts you can use right away. Like a lightning helix you can't. No, star charts you can't. So it just have to be double red. So only if you had like red instance, basically, like a braid is certainly a reasonable card that could be played. So whatever, but or of course the kind of the shock card, or very popular and with good reason, is the Torch to the Tower, right? One red instant, and it takes out most things. It removes them from the game, and so that's a pretty good way to go. So the Tableau Discovery, it's just crazy because there's never been a card like it, right? Like, of course, I strongly harped on Badger Mole Cub when it came out because I was like, look, guys, it's just never happened like this type. And again, David's type of innovation has to do with seizing on these cards where it's not really the new anything, it's its own new thing, right? And really stopping and saying, hey, when something's happened like that, what's going on with it now? In the past, I would have typically pounced on something like Tableau Discovery more, but we're so averse in the old Magic Secrets meta over here to testing control because it's slower, it's more boring for me. I often don't even have time to win a 10-minute game or a 15-minute game, because oftentimes I'm just playing when I have time to play like one game pretty quick. I'm standing in line, and if the line ends too fast, I'm going to concede. So it's a race against time, like at Panda Express or something like that, or I'm waiting for my cook to order chicken nuggets at McDonald's. So some time, maybe I got time to win one real quick, but if not, it's going to have to scoop it. But anyways, Tableau Discovery, though, it really is such a radical card. And when I myself was going to go and play at a tournament, I was going to play Jeskai. Revelation was the first thing I kind of thought of. And I'll tell you, the pros were not ready for it. What I did play, the blue-white deck that I played, I myself had trouble, just playing after all the rust and stuff like that. I'm not that immersed as I was when I was a player, but it was a great metagame call, and I could have cut through that tournament. I could have even potentially, in an alt universe, done very well. But as far as the deck choice is concerned, so taking Tableau Discovery very, very seriously, is really worth it. It's also going to get us to, if it's the only red card, it'll get us to a together as one, like a full together as one, a whole turn earlier, right? Now, I'll tell you what Dan would start thinking right away, and Smitty will attest to this. The first thing Dan would be thinking about is casting that tablet with a Llanowar Elf, right, Smitty?
I had 4 elves in this deck, and I just recently took them out.
Right, exactly. So you understand Dan's sentiment. So that's one thing, because if you're not as into board wipes, because there might be kind of a funky version out there where you can do, because it's interesting because I'm about to go kind of into like how I would build the orthodox version of this deck. But one of the great things that we have here, and it's really made Magic Secret so much more special than it would have been otherwise. Smitty can attest to this. I can certainly attest to this. Is Dan Burdick, because Dan's constantly sped us up by half a turn or a turn by getting us to just play faster, get it done faster, make it happen one turn faster. And of course you understand you're going to be giving up some advantage by doing that. but sometimes you just go so fast it really doesn't matter. We've had that, right? We've had that's the root of Isengard Shuffle, which turned into Atlantis Shuffle. Was Dan's figuring out a green deck that he and me, Smitty, and Dan used to abuse back in the day with, what was that thing called? What's the X spell that makes the forests dryads, Smitty?
Yeah, I
You
use
remember?
that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes all the land
yeah.
tokens. It makes
The
them
original
into
Isengard Shuffle, we would have these like thousand damage turns. Like, here he comes. That's why we called it Isengard Shuffle, because it's like the tree ants at the end of whatever it was. Was it Two Towers, or I don't remember when it happened in the story arc, but somewhere between Two Towers and Return of the King in the Lord of the Rings series, the tree ants come into Isengard, and they show Saruman what they think about his mean ways with his mean orcs and cutting down all the trees and stuff like that, breaking all that deal. By the way, you blow your brand, you think you're gonna get away with it. Sometimes not. Sometimes those treants will come and get you. So anyways, the thing about tablet is it really has a special relationship with, like, you can cast an elf turn 1, you cast a tablet on turn 2, you can cast a full together as one turn 3, right? Is that right? Or is it turn 4?
Yeah, you should be able to.
That would be,
yeah.
you'd be 2 ahead, right? You'd have
Yeah.
3 mana from the
You
elf.
need a bibliotex or something like that, but yeah.
Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying? Wait, you need what?
A biblioplex or something of that ilk.
You mean the lands would have to match up? It would have to work with the lands. Yeah. So if you cast the elf with, like, let's say a blue-green land, let's just say for the sake of argument. So now we have blue and green from the elf and the land for the turn that we need to cast, right? And then we have 2 red from the tablet, and then we'll have 2 more lands by turn 3 that can produce the other 2 colors that we need, right? So turn 4, you can blast something for 5 and draw 5 cards. Turn 3, in that case.
It's not bad.
You say if you can make the mana work, but Dan would say, well, the lands look really good, right? So that's something we can look at. Because one of the things we can really look at is, can we just jack out fast together as ones and revelations? Because at least that's fun, right? And then could go somewhere. So do you want to?
You can cast omens first and then cast together as well.
Yeah, we can start specking this deck out. I mean, just as a fun exercise. We've got around 15 more minutes in what I have scheduled for the show, so let's see how we get. Great. We have kind of a big week otherwise going on with starting something nifty with Magic Secrets. So I'm a little bit thinking about that all the time, or with OMG, that is, with Nikki, the other Smitty. Okay, so let's Omen. Let's just do this. You want to just go and delete the current, or just make a new deck, and we'll just build something out from scratch.
Okay. You want me to copy this one or just make it completely new?
Well, we need to delete something, so just scroll down and just delete something random.
Tanuki's Balls 2 is fine.
Or anything there.
Which one?
Dominique, KK, anything. Just delete anything. Doesn't matter. We go through a million decks here. Part of the reason why we need the blog and the other formats, news and stuff like that coming up, because otherwise all this would be lost in antiquity. Standard. Okay, so let's go with Elf Tablet. We'll start with Elf and Tablet. This type of deck we won't be using. Our beloved Pollinators or Springleaf Drum. Probably won't be using Bedroom Woodcup either. We can put 4 of those in.
Can I just,
Yeah, just get rid of those lands. I'm sure we won't be using them. We may have 1 basic land in the deck. Okay, so 4 of those. We can do 4 together as ones and 3 revelations.
oh, together as one is, oh, colorless, of course.
Yeah, there you go.
4 and then
Revelations. Okay, so how else will we do the mana base? So Smitty, what other wacky? Probably 3 revelations. I doubt we'll reach 4.
Cool.
But if we find a wild mana base, then we might do 4.
Cool.
All right, Smitty. What happens next with the mana base? Because that's what matters. What are the other crazy things that can happen with mana?
You need the Biblioplex.
Okay, get the Biblioplex.
This one.
Pay 1 life, add a mana of any color. Okay, great. So let's have those. Okay, and it produces colorless, of course. Great. So now what are we going to do? We'll get to the lands in a second, further lands in a second. I'm sure you can see those are commons or uncommon, so you can just go ahead and craft the tablets. Okay. So now what can you do that's going to be really special mana wise? And let's go through our options for mana acceleration, because that's what matters here. Okay. Like what's going to, nothing else is going to give us a 2-for-1 like the, okay. So maybe we can kind of build this for a little bit for Marvel. Like what about like one of the Blackstone and one, like the Black Indestructible Smithy? How about that?
Yeah, Soulstone, and you should have Ancient Cornucopia. I've got to go, boys. Have fun.
You
I'll
gotta
look
run. All
forward
right,
to it.
thanks, Smitty. All right,
Bye.
appreciate you. Bye. All right, so let's go Ancient Cornucopia.
Okay.
Okay. So you see Elf is just, God, you really want it in this deck. Okay, and then we'll put a Soulstone in, and we'll put, when the white one comes out, we'll probably put one of those in too.
This one,
So
Sanctuary,
it's
or?
what? It's black. It's an artifact. Or
I think
an
it's 2
artifact
words.
blue
Soul
black.
Space Stone.
Oh,
What's it called? Yeah, I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, try Soulstone.
the Soulstone. Oh yeah, to add a black. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, they swapped the names over. Okay, so great. So pop one of those in. Okay. So are we going to have any other? All right, now there's Iron Crag. That's a tough choice. Iron Crag's a legend. It's only a colorless, so it's never. See. I don't know if you can really play Iron Crag here. I don't know if it really makes sense because anything that just doesn't produce any color, and it's a mana accelerator. So are there any other mana accelerators that you guys can think of that we want? Okay, so any other mana acceleration we're going to do at this point is going to have to be almost probably disruption, like spell counters, removal, things to survive. Because like what you're wanting to do with a deck like this is the deck really is revolving around that 3-drop slot, and you want to get that going, and you get that going, and you're in great shape. The cornucopia, by the way, has a similar style effect. Like it really is its own thing because you do gain so much life from it, right? When you cast a Jeskai Revelation, and you have an Ancient Cornucopia, then that Revelation, you're going to gain 4 life off of it in the first place, and then you're going to gain 3 more from the Cornucopia, right?
Yeah.
Plus, you're going to get some threats off the board. I mean, really, you can be at 1 life, and I've had it happen to me many times. I'm sure you guys all have, right? Where you had somebody really low, and they casted Jeskai Revelation, and you just scooped because you knew that not in a million years were you going to come back. So now, so we know what we want to do at the top of our upside is the all together as one and Revelations, and we really might wind up with 4 Revelations in this deck if it's not kind of control-ish, because this deck, like, we could have counters in it. We probably may as well, like, rather than, like, I don't know how many removal, like low cost removal we're going to play in the deck, 4, 5, 6, some number. Maybe you play 1 less and slide a counter in, because that can be kind of similar. So a deck like this is going to need a lot of lands still, even though we've got a lot of mana acceleration, because we've got to hit that 3rd land. So we'd reserve something like, and of course, like 10 minutes after the show, I'll be able to, produce a whole deck, like playing is one thing, but doing deck construction live is really wild. I don't know why I thought that. was a good idea. But anyways, no. But yet it is good. You know, like I'm able to kind of share some insights for sure. So I'm building around that. I know I need at least 22, 23 land. I think, and I'm definitely loath to go with more. So we'd have 4 starting towns. Go ahead and put. We'll start fleshing things out. We'll do starting towns.
Probably
think we-
multiversal.
Yeah, just the 5 colors of it. I probably will. You're used to aggressive decks.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to play as many shock lands, but yeah, I agree. We're probably going to wind up needing multiversal passage one way or the other. It just gives us that flexibility. So let's try it for now, and then if we have to back out of some of them, we will.
Okay.
So you can
You
add
want to
4
just
for
start
now.
with 4 and then kind of
Yeah,
cut
and if I
back
have to
from
back
there?
out of them, I will.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else that's particularly 5 color that I could think of off the top of my head. So from there, we want we need 16 non-biblioteca cards that'll make sure that we can typically cast those elves. So 16 is the number we need to hit on those, and you really don't like that's where we're really like you really don't want to cast a multiversal passage and then cast an elf, because now it's not the end of the world. Like if you have 2 green and 2 red to cast it together as one. But I mean, it does erode at things, right? Like part of what we're trying to do is hit,
Mhm.
5 with that. But, if you hit 4, it's okay. But we're, a little bit loath to do that. Okay, so then from there, we'll probably put 8 various dual lands in that are going to come in and probably not cause us damage, right? So we probably want fast lands that are going to be green based. So green based fast lands means probably like maybe 2 of the blue green ones.
Yeah.
So you can select just blue and green. A way to do this filter wise is to select just blue and green, make it gold, remove the artifact symbol, like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and then add the gold symbol, and that'll actually filter for the
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
So put 2 of those fast lands in. Yeah, I just learned that not that long ago. All right, so
Yeah.
let's try 2 of the botanical sanctums. And then let's try green black has a fast land, so unselect blue and select green. Dan calls these fast lands. I don't know what they're supposed to be called. Blooming marsh grape. So 2 of those. So now we're up to 12 green black lands. So now we need 4 more lands that produce green. I bet we're going to need to increase the number of those fast lands, because I think that those are the only fast lands that are green, because there's no white ones, no red ones. See, what is there? Green, blue, green, white. Yeah, there's just not. So let's increase that to, let's go to 4 of each for now. May have to back out of that, but it's tough to do it that way, but let's try. Really
Okay.
dangerous though, because you're going to get to the point where you're going to just not be able to cast, because you're going to need like a 4th land or a 5th land that comes into play on tap. And we can gain life back. Let's go down to 2 of each of those. We're just kind of at a reckless number of them right now. And then we're just going to have to make up the difference with, so let's just go ahead and put in 2 stomping grounds, which is red, green. So you can unselect the black and select the green or red, and then go to stomping ground, grab 2 of those.
This one.
And then the other one, which is Temple Garden, green, white. So unselect red and select white. Temple Garden, beautiful. Okay, so now we have 16 lands that will cast that elf. Okay. How many total lands do we have? 16, 20. Okay. We really only have 2 more spaces for lands. Maybe 3, probably. And probably, for sure we're not going to be able to play. I mean, it's going to have to be something that comes into play untapped and is 2 colors. Probably what's going to be less represented is blue, white, Yeah, blue-white. It's like the least represented thing, right? So grab
Mhm.
2 hollow fountains and we'll hope for the best. Okay. So now we've got a reasonable mana base to build off of. We've got 22 lands. We've got really good color coverage. We're going to take some hard damage from our lands, but we're going to try to play some lightning helixes to get some of that back. The deck like this, lightning helix, can fit in better than most times. So
How
let's
many
try
do
to
you
fit
want to
4 of
play?
those. We're going to
4.
try to fit 4. It's really good with cornucopia.
Yeah.
We like. I mean, it's tough because there's a lot of creatures it doesn't kill. A lot of times it's gonna be a dead card, but when it shines, it's gonna really shine for this deck. It's gonna give us a lot more, and it might be more like 2.
Okay.
So
You want me to go
we
down to
shall
2?
see. Ugh, we have so much
Just
damage.
keep it at 4
Yeah,
for now, and then.
no, let's go to 2. Let's go to 2 and
Okay.
see what happens. And I think we need 4 I think we need 4 revelations. I think that this is not really a control deck. This is like a go fast and hit revelations. Like card search wise, we're probably gonna play 4 consult the star charts, but I don't see us play any other card drawing. Very likely. And even we might not play with 4. You have to select the gold. There you go. So let's try 4 of those for now. That'll also help round out our mana core a little bit. Like if we have 2 lands, it'll get us to a 3rd land usually to cast that all important card. So how
How
much
about
do we
that
have left?
flute card? Is that still a thing? Like the
The
flute?
loot,
Yeah, the loot. No?
so crazy powerful, but we have so much of that already.
Okay.
But we, should we have at least 1? Instead of do we want 4 of the other each? I say yes. Try at least 1, and we'll back out something. We'll back out and then we'll see if we regret it. So take 1, and you can take out a cornucopia for now. Let's keep it in. Let's keep the cornucopia in, please. Sorry to head fake you there.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
you
look
have
it
to
up. No,
pull the
no, no
cornucopia.
worries, no worries.
Okay. So now from here, our cards better do things because we have a lot of mana cards. They have 22, 20, 26, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 35 mana cards. That's not like with a deck like this, that's not that crazy. 36 mana. So then your 24 cards mostly have to really do stuff. So they either have to quickly kill something, like very quickly, basically whatever removal we have left should probably cost 1. So what are the absolute premium 1 casting cost removal cards? And we can play some of those.
Okay.
Like
There's that
Look at
Raven dude.
this.
what's that?
There's that Raven.
Look for instants that cost 1, and
Yeah.
they're black or red. That's probably mostly what we're gonna.
Black or red. Okay.
And probably black. So what's the? Oh yeah, the hex.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hex is what we want. So we want like some number of hexes, like a decent number. How much? Because remember that we can cast them off a cornucopia right away too. So we have 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have like 14 sources of black, I think, for the cornucopias. Yeah, I think you can get away with probably 4 hexes. Might trim down to 2 or 3, but let's start with 4. We can trim back if we need to.
Okay.
Okay, Professor, I think we want him.
Oh, was it fell? I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Enable green.
Oh, it's of course not an instant and not 1. Duh.
Yeah. And then take out.
Word.
You can take out the red and add the gold.
Oh yeah. Probably
If you
also
have
just
the-
select
if you have
planeswalkers.
the
Probably a
gold.
good idea. There we go.
Okay, great. So let's add 2 of those for now, which you might need more. because he really helps with a lot of things if you think about it. He hits a lot of
Mhm.
spots for this deck, right?
Yeah.
He's like he gains you life. You might
Destroys
want 3. Let's
creatures,
go with
draw
3 for
cards.
now.
I
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
really strong. Because now what we want is things that give us like a lot. You know, we need to draw all as one. Like we have a certain thing that we need to get through. Like we want to,
Hmm.
blare up our land mana and then start, kind of taking command.
Hmm.
See, and now we're actually back to something very similar to Adam's deck in the first place, right? Interestingly enough, like the green black deck that Adam
Hmm.
wanted, we're actually very very close to that with this. In a lot of
Together
ways,
as one.
he
We
had
got the
all as one Professor
professor.
Dylan. He had black removal.
Hmm.
He had now like he had mana acceleration and so on. So now the tablet can help cast Professor, the loot. So what else do we want? We want a little bit more top end, and then we play it and see if it's enough. So you want like a few more things that do a lot, like a few more cards that you guys looked at that one planeswalker that cost 9, except I wouldn't do him because I would want. Let's look at the sorceries and instants that are either X or cost.
Sorceries
Let's
and
look at instants and
instants.
sorceries from every color that
Hmm.
cost, but not the artifact one because I think that'll take things away for some reason.
Okay.
And they cost 6 or 7 plus, and let's see what's there.
Nice.
And actually let's do this instead. Do this instead. Unselect all 5 of the colors
Hmm.
and just select gold.
I like that.
All right, so that's a real shortcut. So what's left? So I've seen people play Rapturous Moment, and that really seems to fit the deck.
Wow. Okay.
So if you do that, let's see what happens. So now you got 5 mana. So if you cast, it's definitely a compromise at that point, okay, to cast. But it really that looks like the card for this deck, right? Doesn't it? Some number, because it's going to like you can cast that straight into a Revelation or a the other one that we want together as one,
Together as
right?
one.
And if not, then you can at least cast down, if you have one more black mana, you can cast Fell right off of it. If you drew Fell off of it,
Yeah.
you can cast them. I think we need some number of these. Let's go with 1, 2. Let's go with 2 of these. You can just craft one real quick. What are we at? 59 cards. How much actual removal do we have?
We have
Crazy light
4
removal?
hexes here. We
4
have
hexes and 2.
the fell.
Okay, let's just go up to 4 fells and call it a day. And then we can test it. We'll see how it plays. And we built it together. There you go. Is that interesting to you guys?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Uh,
Yeah.
And-
And by the way, you saw once Smitty and Adam weren't able to be on anymore. Really, a crazy change in dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Well, we still got over the finish line, but boy, easier with
Yeah.
those guys.
For sure.
Okay. So
So
neat.
safety. Yeah.
This is fun. This will be fun to test. I'm sure you guys all. It gives you something different to do. It's not quite the whole. You're not really trying to control anybody, right? Like we're not. Again, like Adam suggested, we're not really playing counters here. We can have counters on the board, of course, but we're
Yeah.
really more just trying to, kind of be neat. Let me see.
Yeah.
Because I think it's weird, but I think that the man is all going to work. It might seem strange to play the consult the star charts. We might be better off. We might find like even if there's like straight red card motion that costs like if there's an instant or sorcery that costs red, like 2 red mana, that's really impressive. It's possible, like a red. Yeah, look at the instant sorceries at 2 drops, because it is possible, because they work so much better with the, I mean, it's obviously amazing if you cast a card motion spell. So let's
Sorry, what's card motion?
just anything that draws cards.
Okay.
So let's scroll through these guys a little bit. You can just scroll pretty fast. I can look fast. Okay, please type in draw.
Yeah.
We'll also there's also a few, and make sure that go to the. We may not have all the cards on this particular account that we're looking
Oh
at.
yeah,
So
like collected and not collected.
yeah, great.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what it says for draw. It's pretty much. Gosh, that Star Charts is so much better on its own, but then with the, it's, kind of see, but it's good with Discovery too, because you can kick the Discovery so much easier, right? You can get to that
Yeah.
4 mana so much easier, right? So I still think Star Chart's going to be better. It's just that more often, so when you cast it on turn 3, like the only way to get extra, like, we're not, I know what it is. With the Tablet of Discovery, this deck is not particularly trying to get cute with the milled card. But the milled card that you can play, that you can draw, I'm more trying to get the mana out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But we can be aware of it, right? We can be aware, like very aware. Like we want, and Lawrence, when I was talking about different types of organizational structures with you yesterday, a lot of what I'm trying to do is prepare, like what are the types of things that we want to have top of the mind when it comes to this type of deck. And so I'm already kind of preparing us in advance for kind of rapid information. So like, as I'm looking at this deck, I'm kind of constantly thinking about cards. A Braid might be a card, that's really, like, for example, a Braid might be really better in this deck than Helix. Because a Braid, like making sure, like going into that one, I mean, I'm looking at that white mana and I'm like, geez, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Red, white, and I mean, I might be getting gunned down, and I mean, you go get a Braid's going to kill almost anything.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right? So let's get rid of those guys and put in a Braids, those 2 Helixes. And then it gives us a little bit against artifacts. And now it gives us a little bit more with our. See, what I'm trying to do is sometimes I'm trying to move the bar a little bit over. I'm not trying to make a huge change in the deck. I'm not trying to be like, okay, now let's make it so every time we cast the tablet that we can cast something off of it, right? Because we'd only be really changing a couple cards with that. And I noticed that really the Consultant Star Charts actually works oftentimes quite well with the tablet, right? If we cast a tablet, and we have 2 mana up, boom, or if you cast tablet and you pull a Star Chart off of it and you have 2 more mana up, boom, you can not only cast it, you can kick it.
Not bad. Yeah.
Super good.
Yeah.
Right? But we're just looking at it kind of in a different way. We're looking at it a little bit more downstream. But I gave us something that on turn 3 we can have a huge win, right? A little bit of a luck spike, right? On turn 3 where it's like, or turn 2, where they might be on top of us. They might have already cast Lionel Ralph. Boy, killing it would be so sweet, right? And it's only a small chance, but we give ourselves that chance. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of that and being attentive to it, right? I'm not trying to make it a theme,
Right.
but I'm involving it. Okay, and that's how I'm handling it in this case. Okay, so as I look at this deck, I've got basically, you've got 10 cards that are kind of like the end, the thing that you're going to do, right? The Professors, the Jeskai Revelations, and the Together as Ones, and then the Rapturous Moment should relatively substitute for that. Okay, so we net a loss of 1 card, by the way, with net Rapturous Moment. So I am a little bit nervous about that because it's really pretty hard to cast into a Jeskai Revelation. But let's give it a shot. Let's see if a couple of these don't turn out pretty good anyways.
Okay.
We might but I'm suspicious. We could even go down to one of those and audition something else. But I don't know what,
Okay.
you could try one more braid or something like that and say, hey, we're going to live longer. But, is that too much removal? But then, who knows? But maybe Rapturous moment's good. Okay, so this gives us something to work on, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty, pretty much in that same mold. Like it's kind of like playing an aggro deck, right? Because you're just doing your thing. You don't really care what your opponent's doing. Like not overly much. I mean, you can mess with them a little bit. Your revelations can mess with them. Obviously you can kill their creatures and so forth. But then mostly you're just trying to do your thing before they do their thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now is this type of deck going to invite like more kind of like combo-rific decks, in that are going to be hard for it, right? Like I think.
Oh, right, on Arena, you mean?
Well, yeah, and just into the metagame as a whole. There tends to be a couple of different metagames, and the Arena metagame can even shift from one hour to the next.
Yeah.
But and there's so many different zones of it, right? Because you can be in Plat, you could be in Mythic, you could be high in Mythic, and so forth. So we try to have a sense of it and be realistic about it. But then we definitely see different decks in real life for sure. And they tend to be very aggressive in real life. Like as we see that, like you're not seeing a lot yet of control at the pro ranks. We'll see if this kind of bubbles it up, like this kind of opening right now that people are sensing. Maybe at some of the bigger events we'll start seeing some more either Jeskai or Together as One or both. We'll see. With this deck, I try to cut straight to doing, now what does this deck not have is interesting. We have no board wipes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm kind of saying, well, whatever. Right. Because you know what it is to me, Jeskai Revelation, stuff like that. Like if you're not letting them just run roughshod on you, which we're really not. Like we have a fair amount of removal in the first place. Like Revelation is hard to get through. So we'll see. I mean, it being an instant is pretty wild. And you only need one of like Cruel Ultimatum, guys, was 2 red, 2 black, and 2 blue, and 3 colors. Much harder to cast.
Yeah.
Jeskai Revelation, it's weird to say, but it might be a little bit undercosted because it's only 1 of each mana symbol, instead of 2 of each. What you have with Ultimatum. So I don't know. Anyways, I sort of enjoyed. I know I kind of veered off. I said I was going to talk more about Atlanta Shuffle. I feel like it's so good, so flexible, and I was going to get into showing you guys the Drowners, because we don't really play that much sideboarded, and Drowners would be in the sideboard, so at least get them out and get them in play and show you some of the things. I was talking to Lawrence about it yesterday. How I feel like that the Q charm has actually upped the value of the Drowner, because it makes the deck more aggressive. But at the same time, if there's going to be more control, then we're going to be right back to what Bryn favors, which is playing a handful more counters, and then just because again, if control really gets big, the best deck is once again going to be Atlanta Shuffle.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean there's nothing that can terrorize control like a fully decked out Atlanta Shuffle. You have
I agree.
4 Mind Springs and a bunch of counters. They don't want to see that.
Counter spell, yeah.
They're like 7 mana. You're like, sure, that's cool. 1 mana. Stop it. You're dead next turn. But this is fun. I wanted to do this. The guys were into the spirit of it, and I think this is a fully.
I liked
fun
it too.
It's
very interesting for me to see.
Because the Llanowar Elves make this deck fun. Without Llanowar Elves, this is not a fun deck. It's just going to feel slow and onerous and so forth. But with
right, like a turn slower. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, always like and a turn slower with this deck is like 3 turns. It's kind of hard to explain.
Wow.
It just this deck really wants to go fast. Okay, awesome event today. I really enjoy the Magic Secret Show. The Magic Secret Show is here to reflect all these different facets we have that we have that are growing. We have our playtest group on WhatsApp, which is the kind of the root of our forum. So we consider that to be as every bit as sacred as the forum, which is going to be very important up in coming years, days, weeks, months, years. Then the blog, which is such a power up on the forum and on the world and for the members and so forth. It just has, the forum led to the whole, realization that we needed a forum. And then led to the news which we're now working on and so on. So it's all blossoming. All right, great show, a great time, guys. You guys particularly killed the gate, definitely gave me the energy. You can call this just revelations, like have revelations together. And then you can have the alpha on there. It's a perfect thing there. All right, great show, guys. Guys, I'll see you on Saturday.